Roll for Toronto, roll for Toronto, roll for Toronto. Everybody roll for Toronto. Time for my solo. Speaking of solo, today I'm going to be talking about this solo journaling game called Bard. You can get free on itch, link in the description below. It's time to roll for Toronto. Welcome back to Roll for Toronto. This is Frank, and I found this really fun game. It's a solo journaling game called Bard, where you learn to just be a bard. So I'm going to switch camera views so I can show this a little bit better, and also so I can show you how to fold it and cut it so you can have your own little Bard book. Right. Here's a better look of Bard, a solo journaling game. And it was created by Fen at It's Fen Dragon, and you can find this on itch.io. Right. Before we take a look at the book, let's make the book. Ta-da! I have here a copy of Bard, the Bard Zine. And we're going to fold it, cut it, make a little book. You take your zine, your sheet of paper, and you're going to fold it long ways, sideways, like a hot dog or a taco. It's called either hot dog style or taco style, depending what you're in the mood for. But you're going to fold it on top. You're going to make sure it's lined up there at the corners. And you want to do a few creases. You can do one crease. Doesn't matter. I like to make sure it's nicely creased because I'm going to be following those crease folds once everything is folded the way that I want it. You want to make sure that your corners are lined up. And I just like to give it another crease. You're going to see me folding it and creasing it a few times. That's just me. I'm just particular. And even with all those creases and folds, I still misaligned it. But nobody is perfect. So you're going to fold it in half. And I believe this might be the taco fold. There's different names for different types of folds, but I think you get what I'm saying. You're going to fold it in half and then fold it again where you have it like a little book there, a little pocket book. So you have your cover. And it's not done yet because when you open it up, you see the pages are still stuck together. So this is what I like to do. I like to go over it again, making sure all the pages and all the words are lined up correctly, giving it another fold. And that top crease, this is why I do crease it so much, because I need to know where this crease is going to be, where I'm going to make the cut. So here we're going to fold it again on this way, fold it in half. Now this is where you're going to make the cut. Right here, right there in that center crease, right there, you take that little gap, that little fold, and you get your scissors, and you're only going to cut halfway where the other crease ends here, so you can fold it. So it's a simple cut, and now you have all your pages, and you're gonna fold it together like a little accordion, and there you got your book. Is it perfectly aligned? No, I still messed up a little bit, but I think you get the idea. I just go over it, making sure that I can read all the words. But that's pretty much it. You got your book. You You can see that I still have some edges there, so I can cut off that excess paper. I did leave it on there for comparison because I'm gonna compare the other zine that I had cut and folded with this one that's uncut, but very much folded to the extreme, some would say. But that's pretty much it. You got your barred zines right there, and you're good to go. So we're gonna use this one. Then I'm gonna show you what you need to use this zine. Well, you no longer need the scissors, so I can put this over here. Use pens and a little notebook. I did make a little kit using this little box. Let me zoom out so you can see that better. There you go. You just keep it here. Boom. Snap it. And you have your little kit. So you're gonna need the zine, some little sheets of notebook. I do have a little journal that I made, so I'm gonna use this pencil. But so you can actually see what I'm writing, I'm gonna be using pens, and I have some pens here. You're also going to need a deck of playing cards. You don't need anything fancy, just a regular deck of playing cards. I got this in a 4-pack from a dollar store here nearby. I think I got 4 of these for $1 or $2. I think maybe $2 at the most. But yeah, nothing special, just a regular deck of playing cards. And you're also going to need a little bit of creativity and imagination, but that's where this zine comes in handy. Let's get into the zine. So you have your instructions here, your setup, your setting, not your setup. You listen from the shadows as the knights gossip about their lords. Your patron told you to report only the most important rumors spreading in the capital, those that could shake even them in the farthest domain. A year has gone by with nothing to note, but tonight the knights seem agitated or possibly excited from what you overhear. Radical change is coming. It's time to return to your patron and warn them of what's to come. So that's your setting. You're a bard, and you're listening to the people, and you go around singing your songs or reporting on the news. So you do have here. I guess you start your setting, and I was using this. I was playing with this earlier, which is why I decided to make a video because I thought it was pretty cool. So here you decide your setting, and you're gonna do this with the cards. And over here, you find out if it's going to be a ballad or a bulletin and what you're going to be singing and talking about. After a while, I stopped using the setting, making different settings. I just went with one that I liked the most, and then I just went straight to doing ballads and bulletins. But we're going to do one now. So you got your playing cards. They're shuffled, but I'm going to shuffle them here. They're not professionally shuffled. I just need to mix them up. All right. Flip a card from a well-shuffled deck to build your world. So if I get a red card, it's a fledgling nation. If I get a black card, it's a legendary stronghold. I got black. So it's a legendary stronghold. Ruled by, so either a council or a monarch. So red is council. Oh, and ironically, I got a monarch. But a legendary stronghold ruled by a council. Council, not a console. With a rise in magic or industry. Red is magic, so legendary stronghold ruled by a council with a rise in magic, bringing, let's see, we can either get destruction or prosperity. Prosperity. Okay. And that's the world. Now, before I forget, I'm going to write everything down. Let me go back. Hey, it fits here perfectly. All right. I'm just going to use some shorthand. There we go. And this is the fun part. This is where and this is the fun part. This is where you can get a little bit more creative. I'm gonna put these aside. So I'm going to use the rest of this deck. All right, so this is how you play. You share the stories and rumors of this changing land with your patron through a collection of songs. To find your inspiration, flip one card for each of the 8 towns you must pass through. So you do this 8 times. You're inspired to write either a ballad, a bulletin, and this is when we start using what's actually on the cards to start creating your ballad or your bulletin. Before we go further, it does tell you what a ballad is and how you can form it. A ballad is a narrative song that often tells a specific story. Its structure is as follows: verse, verse, chorus, verse. You might wish to add an extra verse. Ballads often have a simple rhyme scheme. And there's an example: Over the Rainbow, that's from Wizard of Oz, that's a ballad. A bulletin, and I'm glad that Fenn did add this. He said, I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was just like a bulletin board or a news flash. But it's a song that makes a statement and or spreads news. Its structure is as follows: verse, verse, verse. It also contains a refrain, a simple line or phrase that is repeated throughout the song. And I like their example here. An example of a bulletin is the song Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan. I like that song. How many roads must a man walk by? So that's a ballad and a bulletin. And we got our setting. And let's do a couple of songs. All right, okay. So flip a card. A bulletin. All right, we got a bulletin of, let's see, of love. So if you get the hearts, it's love. A bulletin of love about. Okay, so we got a jack, a child. A bulletin of love about a child. And I think the real It could be the hard part, it could be the fun part. The most creative part is actually writing the song. So these are pretty much prompts to help you write a song about something in your world. Now, a bulletin about of love about a child. It could be a parent, uh, uh, a parent who loves their kid or who wants kids. Maybe it's a husband and wife that don't have kids but they long for children. So maybe the mom, uh, uh, is yearning to have a child, and this is a song about that yearning. Could be a parent lost a child, so they're talking about the love they have for their son or their daughter. That's that's some ideas. Now, why I think this is cool, and you can implement this in your role playing game. If you're playing a bard, and you gotta come up with stuff. Even if you're gonna do like a song of encouragement to help your team, or a song of inspiration, uh, singing a song like this, like that could encourage your group, and it could help them. All right, so let's come up with another song or bulletin. I guess they're all songs, but I want to do a ballad. So let's see what. Oh, I do promise I did not stack the get deck. that uh, so I got a ballad, right? A ballad of love. Okay, another love song about 10. So a farmer. That's almost like somewhere over the rainbow. It's not necessarily about a farmer, but Dorothy is on the farm, and she's singing about wanting to go away from the farm. Uh, so like a ballad of love about a farmer. Could be a farmer talking about how much he loves uh, farming, how much he loves making vegetables, or how the farmer fell in love with his girlfriend or wife, spouse. So let's write these down. Okay, so the first one was. Oh, and you do have your setting. I didn't do a new setting, so you do have your setting. Legendary stronghold ruled by a council uh, who arise in industry, bringing in prosperity. So the farmer could be a prosperous farmer because of where he of the nation that he lives. He's so prosperous, and he's able to not afford to fall in love because he was just working on the farm so much. But since it's so prosperous that, hey, I'm gonna go look for a bride, and that could be it. He's trying to find love. He's looking for love in all the wrong places or the right places. You never know. All right, so the first one was a bulletin, and I could change it to ballad, but I'm gonna keep it as bulletin. A bulletin of love about a child, and a ballad of love about a farmer. So we got two songs. I'm supposed to do 8. I'm not going to do all 8 here, but I was doing this earlier, so I actually have more than 8. I have over 10, maybe 20. So these were, it could be fun, it could be creative, but I can now write, I can now write a few songs and keep them in my songbook. And if I'm playing a bard, or if I have an NPC that's a bard, I have my book of songs, ballads, bulletins that that I could use. And if it's a game that if I'm in someone else's game or in my own game that I'm running, I'll just use the setting from that game, from that campaign. But that is Bard, a solo journaling game. This is awesome, and I'm gonna switch camera views. This is a tale of a solo journaling game. You can find it on itch. It's pay what you want. Play as a bard. Tell your songs and your stories. You don't have to be musically talented to play as a bard, and you can use Bard, a solo journaling game, to come up with some cool songs and ballads, bulletin stories that you can use in your RPG game. There's a link in the description below. It's pay what you want. You can throw them a couple of bucks, $1, $2, $3. It's by Fen. It's a Fen. That's it. That's their name on itch.io. Link in the description below. And check it out and let me know what you think of this video in the comment section. Don't forget to stay creative and don't be afraid to experiment. This has been Frank Salazar with Roll for Morocco. See you next time. Roll for Morocco. Subscribe. This is the town of Roll for Morocco, making videos about RPG zines.